Oklahoma senior U.S. Senator James Lankford, one of a group of senators to confront the head of the Secret Service.
Yeah, this happened at the RNC last night. The senator joining us live this morning. Thanks so much for taking some time, Senator Lankford. Wanted to ask about that moment last night. Just days after this attempted assassination on the former president, you and some of your colleagues approaching the director of the Secret Service. What was the reason behind that? Why did you guys feel so compelled?
Well, thanks for that. So Director Cheadle had talked to us earlier in the day, just about 3 hours before, on a phone call. They had taken 5 questions, very little information. There was lots of issues that we want to be able to confront. Then she showed up at the RNC convention, so we want to be able to visit her and say, why didn't you take questions? What is the problem? And are you going to agree to actually be in a public hearing next week? And I serve on the Homeland Security Committee. The main focus that I had was, I need you in front of that committee to be able to actually answer questions and to be able to go through the details, because it's now clear 25 minutes before the shooting happened and 15 minutes before President Trump went on stage, they already knew there was a suspicious person that they were searching for in the crowd who had a rangefinder who looked like they were preparing to be able to take a shot. They knew that before President Trump ever went onto the stage, but they didn't delay him actually going out on the stage. They actually put him out there when they knew there was a suspicious person. And we wanted to be able to talk to her directly about that and to say, how was that decision made and why was that made?
Yeah, and Senator Lankford, let's talk about that a little bit more, because just like you, the American public, they also have a lot of questions into what happened here. So we're days out since that attempted assassination over the weekend. Have you learned anything new since then besides what's already been revealed to the public? Is there anything else that you know? What other questions do you really want answered right now?
Yeah, there's several questions. Some things we learned yesterday, actually, it's not public information out yet there, but they didn't have a drone overhead to be able to watch the crowd nor the area outside the perimeter. Obviously, we know they didn't have anyone on that roof. That was a clean line of shots. They were aware of it. They had talked about it, and they said they had a different way to be able to mitigate it, to basically be able to shoot back rather than just keep someone from getting on it. They clearly knew that there was someone that was a threat that was in the crowd, and they didn't stop everything. That came out yesterday. That's a major issue as well. And then obviously there's lots of other information we're finding out about this 20-year-old kid who actually took that shot to try to kill the president and did kill someone in the crowd. So as we're learning more and more about that, we'll find out more and more about how we can prevent this in the future.
And Senator, in the fallout of this, the Secret Service director, there have been calls for her to resign after this. What's your take on that? Who do you feel should be held responsible for this? And is that something you would like to see done? Would you like to see her resign?
So my call yesterday was Secret Service. They started the call by basically putting the blame on the local law enforcement that was outside the perimeter. That is not what should happen. They should take responsibility for it. The Director Cheadle has said, hey, there were mistakes that were made. She needs to be held responsible for those mistakes that were made, the way they handled things. And so I do agree that she needs to resign. But I need to understand this is a critical time in preparation for the election, where there's lots that's got to happen. We've got to have continuity during this time period as much as we can. So we're in this weird balance of, we've got somebody there that obviously messed up and needs to be held accountable, but we can't make the situation worse even. We've got to have good leadership there to be able to make the hard calls at the right moment.
So we know she's supposed to testify, you mentioned there, in front of the House Oversight Committee coming up here on Monday. What could come out of this testimony? What can we expect to happen afterwards?
Yeah, there's a lot that needs to come out on this to be able to come public, to get the details out. We're trying to get her in front of the Senate committee as well, to be able to get agreements on that for the next week. Also, our main focus is, let's get the information out so we get accurate information so people can see the mistakes that were made, so those mistakes get corrected immediately. And the next thing is, we need to also be able to put down all the conspiracy theories out there that are false information, because there's a whole bunch of false information that's flying around there in the absence of actual factual information. So the factual information is bad, but the conspiracy theories and false information is even worse. We've got to be able to get those two things addressed.
Senator, we've seen a lot of politicians across the country come out after this and talk about unity and the steps going forward for our country, how to put an end to political violence. What would your message be to Oklahomans and to anybody across the country who might be listening?
Yeah, this is not a new message for me. I've talked about unity now for years and have pushed back on the national debate that is so angry and loud. We have differences as a country on that. We have differences as Oklahomans even. That's okay to be able to have those kind of differences. What's not okay is to make it personal or to make it hateful and angry in such a sense that it actually riles up someone who's unstable to be able to do something really dumb. are dangerous. So we've experienced that as a state when we had that in 1995. We've seen that nationally. So it was interesting to me, the number of people that have now spoken out and have said, okay, let's bring the tone down. I said, well, that's something I've been saying for years on it. But even before we knew any of the motivations for this 20-year-old kid trying to assassinate the president, even before we knew that, both sides of the aisle were saying, okay, we really do need to tone this down. I agree. Let's have our differences. Let's come to agreement, and then let's move on without actually attacking each other as fellow Americans.
And Senator, before we let you go, we know you're out at the RNC. Former President Trump set to deliver a speech tonight. What are we expecting to hear?
Yeah, so today is Trump Day of the convention. It's the last day. He'll be the last speech. We have heard that he has rewritten the entire speech since the assassination attempt. We've heard him talk a lot about unity and the people around him, that the message has changed a lot to say, let's solve the problems. We got to close the border. We've got to get the economy back. We've got to get a consistent foreign policy again that brings more stability globally. All those things are important. I expect him to address that, but also expect him to address that, hey, we're all fellow Americans here. Let's actually do things like fellow Americans and let's solve the big issues. Even the conversations last night by the president's son is when we fight at the ballot box. That's where we fight. So when the president steps up and says, fight, 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 it is actually, let's change the direction of the country and what we're doing at the ballot box. That's the place to do it.
Oklahoma Senator James Lankford joining us there from the Republican National Convention. Thanks so much for taking some time this morning, Senator. Calls for more transparency when it comes to the Secret Service. Expecting a whole lot more to come there today. Of course, the president, former president, expected to make his speech tonight. We'll be standing by for that.